friends, Nibs again. Wanted to get out to the range and do a little bit of plinking today. Really cold day out, so very windy out too. So I wanted to come to the indoor range and just do a little bit of plinking with a couple of 22s. And this one that I brought out to show you guys today is actually one that's very near and dear to my heart. This one has been in my family, I believe, since it was brand new. That's my understanding. This one actually used to belong to my father. And he had this one since he was a teenager, I believe, back in the 50s. And a lot of history in the family with this one. This one actually is the first gun that I ever fired, first powder burning gun, I guess I should say. I'd shot pellet guns and Red Riders, Daisy BB guns and stuff before this, but I shot this gun when I was probably 8 or 10 years old. And it was the first real powder burner gun that I ever shot. And for most of my young teenage years and up until I left to go into the Navy, I carried this thing in the woods, many grouse hunt and rabbit hunt. And it's not perfect by any stretch, but it's a really nice looking, pretty nice looking gun. It's got a few dents and bumps and bruises on it, but it's really, probably a lot of those were from me carrying it around in the woods. When I did a couple practice shots with it before I started it up, but when my father had it, well, as long as my father's had it that I've been using it, it had a scope on it, but it was a real cheap scope, and I really wanted to kind of put it back to its original glory. It was actually missing the front sight, it was missing the barrel sight, it was missing the peep sight, and I found all those parts, correct parts on eBay, and I did some conservation on it, and I got this thing back to, you know, it's still a beater upper. I mean, you look at the stock's got some pretty good wear on the finish, but every one of those has got a little bit of a story from either me or my father. My uncle had this for a little while after my father passed away, and then I got it after my uncle passed away, but it will not leave my family unless I give it to my son or one of my sons. And this is probably one of the nicest guns I brought out here today as far as a shooter goes. This one actually has peep sights on it. It's got the proper round little lollipop up in the front for doing this kind of bullseye shooting that we're going to be doing here today. But so I'm going to load up 5 rounds at a time, and we'll shoot some bullseyes here, and we'll see how we do. These were made, this is a 146 BA, and these were actually made, I believe, starting in 1954, if I remember correctly, and went up until 1949, if I remember right, or 1954 to 1959. Sorry. So you got to close the bowl, then open it, and the lifter will pull the first round out. So, all right, we're loaded. This one's actually even still got the original fire and safe little pieces of plastic in the stock back here, which are very uncommon. A lot of them, I don't know if they pop out or people refinish the stock and they get lost or why, but a lot of the guns are always missing those little plastic fire and safe buttons. But let's go ahead and see what we can do. This reminds me, I forgot. It's not terrible loud in here, but it's just loud enough where even shooting standard velocity, it's a great idea to put your hearing protection on. That's better. Ooh, pulled that one a little to the left, I think. Okay, last one for this group. Pulled that one a little to the right. This is just such a fun gun to shoot, even if it wasn't such a family heirloom, but having that kind of you know, memories of all the times I took it out hunting rabbits. And you know, I know the statute of limitations is expired on it, so I can say I use this thing to hunt grouse up here in New York, which I didn't know at the time, but I do know now was not proper hunting etiquette or against the hunting laws, or however you want to say it. But I've taken dozens of grouse with this gun. I tried hunting them with my dad's Browning Superposed, which I actually have that too, but I just was not fast enough on the draw to be able to take the birds in the air. So I would flush them out. They would go flying down. They usually flew like 100, 150 feet, so I'd be able to see where they landed, and then I'd take a bead on them with the scope and pop them off. And it's actually better because you had one lead projectile to find instead of a whole bunch of little lead BBs. So before you cleaned them up and ate them. Pulled that one to the left. Boy, I'm bobbling all over the place. Probably should be shooting these off for rest, so I'm showing you guys what the guns can do and not just me, but this is fun. This is a lot of fun. And I'm really not out here trying to prove anything to anybody, but let me go ahead and pull that back. I wanted to show you guys one thing. A while back, I don't remember when it was, I looked back and I think I haven't had this thing out at all this year yet, but the last time I had it out, I was having a bunch of problems with light strikes, and it turns out that the back end of the bolt actually screws on, and somehow that back half of the bolt had unscrewed quite a bit. And as many years as I've used this thing, I never ran into that problem. But somebody else from the video from last year actually saw that I was having problems with it and mentioned to try that. So if you ever have one of these Mossbergs with this torpedo-shaped bolt, that thing will unscrew on you and it will cause light strikes. I screwed it back down and I haven't had a single light strike since. So let's go ahead and reel this thing back and see how I did. Kind of looks like I'm all over the place, but that's just me bobbling around. But so the first one, I called most of those shots. I know I flinched that one off to the right. It wasn't a bad group, except for that one that I called off that I flinched over to the right. But that that last group's kind of weird, kind of wrapping all the way around the bullseye there like that. But It's fun. It's just getting out and plinking, wasting some bullets, having a little bit of fun with the old guns. But this is probably, I guess I shouldn't say probably, it is my favorite 22, just because of the history that I have with it. I have a bunch of lot nicer 22s. Not saying that this one isn't a nice 22, but just because it's such a great family heirloom, I really probably be the last one that I ever get rid of. But there you go. There is my Mossberg Model 146BA. I also have a 146B, which is the predecessor to this one, and that one actually has the T-bolt, so I know that one is a first year of production in 1949. But that one wasn't a family heirloom, but it's actually pretty darn cool. But anyway, hope you liked the video. If you did, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You'll be notified when I do bring out more cool stuff like this. Till next time, have a great day.